everybody. So we played this deck in between rounds of Friday's challenge. We 4-1'd. Deck looked really good, and I just wanted to give it a little bit more love on stream here today. This is Abzan Ketramose. Hold on, pause. Everybody, let me read a chest cold open, and thank you, Chest, for the 64-month resub. Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon, and I'm the hardest working e-boy in esports, aspiring Spike. And I'm still sick today, that is true, but I won't let a little bubonic plague stop me from delivering the high-quality modern content that feeds your souls. Let's explore the cosmos together with my updated Abzan Ketragoyf deck. Can our new god, Ketramose, help us cling to the hope of more trophies, or will our plans go haywire? Stay tuned to find out, and support the stream with things like, sub, bits, etc. Great opening a chest. Okay. So, this part isn't, too complicated, right? Ketramose and Cosmogoyf are two interesting modern cards that both get enabled by exiling your own graveyard. We had been playing a Sultai version with Kishless Skimmer for a little bit, thinking that playing Psychic Frog as an extra enabler was really nice, but honestly, Ketramose is just so much more powerful. It's so much more resilient, big life linker, and I'm just kind of preferring this build in general, I guess. The idea is, of course, that Relic of Progenitus is your main enabler for both Goyf and Ketramose, so you have 4 Urza Saga to find both. Cosmogoyf is very large, very in charge in these shells. And what's cool about playing Cosmogoyf in a deck with such a powerful card advantage engine like Ketramose and Overlord is that, you care a little bit less about trading it 1-for-1 for removal. Also, this might sound kind of obvious too, but Shadowspear on a Cosmogoyf is really, really, really good. It turns this card into just an unbeatable threat for a lot of decks. In fact, game 1, that's your main plan against Kappa Cannoneer, which is something that most decks just kind of can't contend with. You just make a gigantic Cosmogoyf and give it lifelink, and Affinity a lot of times just can't race it. Boris can't race it. I think that having that dynamic is really nice. Overlord of the Balemurk ends up being a really important tool here too, where this is a graveyard filler for both Ketramose and Goyf so that you can actually get enough cards in exile for these cards to be big. It also digs for your powerful creatures, Goyf and Ketramose, and a few others, of course. And we've done this tech a lot. I don't know how many of y'all have seen it, but this is probably like the 5th time we've played Hex Parasite Overlord, and I like in my opinion, this is just enough of an enabler for Overlord that it becomes a powerful card without the Felia, without the Flicker Wisp. You get a Hex Parasite off your Urza Saga, you peel all the counters off of Overlord, you attack with it immediately. That's been a really powerful dynamic, and it gives you a little bit of a secondary card advantage engine in addition to Ketramose. You also have a few other 2-for-1s like Urza Saga, sometimes Bowmasters, sometimes Trespasser, Cling to Dust. So a lot of grind in this deck. Bowmasters, also, I think, very good in Modern at the moment. I think it's very good against the Esper deck. I think it's very good against Affinity. 2 decks that were not super duper popular. They did have Quantum Riddler at the very least, so Bowmaster was maybe even just not as good against that build previously. But Bowmaster, I think, has just skyrocketed in viability. It's also good against Boros, so you don't really lose equity there. So you do board it out occasionally against decks like Titan maybe or Domain Zoo, but a card that I do like a lot. And so I didn't actually even make any changes from Friday's build. I was wanting to update it, but I just really like the 75. We might make some sideboard changes. Our one loss in the league was against Titan, where we double Thoughtseize them and died on turn 3, and then we Ashioked them and died. We Ashioked on turn 3 and then died. So I think it might have been turn 4 because they Force of Vigored my Sagas. So that was our one loss. I think that's something to feel pretty good about. Pretty excited. Got the match clock. Match clock's okay. I feel like if you're inactive for, we need a little bit of a change. I think it used to be that the rope was kind of not possible on Magic Online because the client was so clunky that okay, their deck is really weak to Bowmasters. I know because I built it. So I forgot. So I may have made a. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work in the deck. Okay, I think I'm taking the Fanatic. No, I think I take the Battlecry. Maybe you don't enjoy the rope coming. Okay, so when I say the rope is dumb that it stops you from comboing. It should just be. Are you not taking actions? The rope happens. It's dumb that you can be taking a ton of actions, and it says your turn has been too long. It's I think that's so stupid. That's true. The rope is not Not without its flaws. Opponent took the deck. They cut the images from Mockingbird. They play against me. They go, yeah, I'm going to play Image instead after. Yeah, I remember we I don't know if they're playing just our last 75 cut image for Mockingbird, which again doesn't work because Mockingbird you have to spend mana for it to get the copy, so the cost reduction on Trailblazer doesn't apply, and it can never be 0 mana anyways. So like it wouldn't even be that good if that was the case. But I did like Esper Origins in the deck, and we never really got super around to hardcore testing Esper Origins though. So they do have this Origins in the graveyard. I do think, though, that Orcish Bowmaster is just so good against them that I'm just going to hold it up. Not a May, right? Yeah, not a May. I'm just targeting them. I know how your deck works. I do not want to remove this from play. Where'd you play Metamorph, not Image? Oh, sorry. I thought I was playing Metamorph. Yes, that's the one you should play. I think I had maybe one Phantasmal Image. I think we do. Kill the Battle Crier. There's a new EOA card for this deck if you do reason to go back. Okay, no one has explained to everyone goes Quantum Riddler, and I maybe just enabling Fnatic early is good. I don't feel like Quantum Riddler is a particularly good card for this deck, but maybe I just haven't been explained it well enough. Yeah. Oh, the X spell, the red one. Yeah, maybe that one's good. I haven't thought about it too much. That one could be good, I agree. Did you recommend buying or renting a Magic? Like I always have rented. Occasionally I'll like have picked up like nice arts if I want to keep them for a bit. But yeah, since Mana Traders has been a thing, I've been a renter, and that's certainly what I recommend. Ooh, they can copy a Bowmaster to kill a Bowmaster. Good play. Yeah, maybe we are gonna get got. I'm gonna attack with my 6/6. Which is the biggest this card will be broken to modern failed card this year. Vivi, Ugin, Ketramose. I mean, Ketramose is a modern staple, so I'd say probably not that one. Ugin is also a modern staple, but it wasn't broken. Probably, certainly Vivi, although I didn't think that card was going to be broken. I was way higher on both Ketramose and Ugin than I was on Vivi. I always said Vivi was going to be fringe playable, which she ended up being. I was way too high on Ugin. I was also like, I think I was a little high on Ketramose, and then I tried to make a comparison of why it kind of plays similar to Oko, and everybody did kind of lose their mind on that one, I felt. All right, 3 Bowmaster triggers. I think I'm starting to get a little scared. Let's just kill their stuff. Vivi's Rooting Standard. Yeah, we're talking about in the context of modern though, where it was fringe playable while it was legal and isn't really particularly playable at the moment. So you can flashback the Winter Night stories still. Mockingbirds ended up being better than Metamorphs this game. It's just funny. All right, so I do have a 9/9 Orc army. So I don't think shrinking this construct by 1 matters very much, probably. Well, I guess there's that to contend with. Although I do like drawing this Fatal Push. I think I'm just gonna lose the Parasite. I've been wanting to rewatch the Korean movie Parasite and also the anime Parasite. Parasite the Maxim, one of my favorite animes ever. Other creatures get +2/+2 trample. Yeah, I don't think we care very much about that. They're gonna need to chump block at least one thing here. Opponent has a lot of standard cards deck. Yeah, this is I don't know if we built the modern version before the standard version came out. I cannot really remember the history, but we built this deck in modern. We trophied with it. We had a couple different versions, some with card. And then we tried like a little bit with Esper Origins, but the deck became so poorly positioned that I wasn't that interested in it. Did anybody know? Did I build the modern deck and then the standard deck became the thing, or is that a revisionist history? Okay, so they play a Sure Shot, but they don't have any creatures with power 4 or greater. But I guess this enables the Fanatics. Maybe I should have pushed a Fanatic. They graveyard an Esper Origins, which I can't. I don't have a window to Relic. First, I think I did make the modern version before the standard version, but I can't. I mean, obviously, it's all kind of coming out at the same time too. If I did it first, it wasn't by a lot. The standard deck has been developed since Thunder Junction. Yeah, I mean, I built this deck during Thunder Junction too, obviously. That's when the cards came out. All right, I think let's go ahead and push the Trailblazer here. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. Or sorry, I guess whenever Battle Crier came out, that's when we built it. I guess that wasn't Thunder Junction, was it? Tarkir. They do get to haste this. They don't really have good attacks. I get to also make a 10/10 trample lifelinker, and I also have 2 5/5s. Oh, that's a Mockingbird. I guess they do have the attack with that. Let's see. So I can make a construct and equip a Shadowspear, and I can also cast the Relic now that I have this extra mana. So I want to do all that so that these are as large and in charge as possible. Are there any cards from Final Fantasy that are modern staples? I think Cecil's probably close enough to a modern staple. Maybe probably a little bit less than that if you want to be really nitpicky about it. But in that range for sure. So I do think that they can live. They can go to 3, but they have to lose all of their creatures that are untapped here. And the Sure Shot dying makes it really, really tough for them. Yeah, maybe Fire Magic, yeah. What qualifies as something as a staple? The line is kind of weird, you know, because like I think Cecil is a staple in the sense that it goes in like a lot of your black-based mid-range builds, and I play a lot of them because I enjoy these archetypes, and we tend to do pretty well. But these archetypes also are not. They don't really see a lot of play in the overall modern metagame, and so it's kind of hard to consider any of that a staple. So it's a little bit of a blurry line, maybe. It's kind of hard to say exactly what is and isn't. Yeah, Sephiroth sees, like, you know, as like a little bit of Mardu energy, and it sees play in like these like creature combo lists usually has at least a 1 of, you know. Not a very impactful set to modern overall. Yeah, it's gonna be very tough for them to combo off with the Sure Shot gone, although they might still be able to find another Battle Crier, and they might be able to make a board that I can't beat. Okay, this not being Green Sun for Battle Crier is pretty good for me. Yeah, you could. The thing is, you could play Cecil over Bowmaster, but I think Bowmaster's just a little too well positioned. Okay, they do find a Battle Crier kind of like right in time. Although they only have 16 cards left in their deck. That dynamic is kind of interesting here. And again, the Sure Shot is dead, so it's going to be very, very difficult for them to win this game. And then they seem to be out of Trailblazers, which is pretty unlucky. But they go to 1 to play another Metamorph for another Trailblazer, so they can keep the chain rolling here. Fun game. Modern playable. Fire Magic Cecil, VV Sephiroth. I think that's the probably about the extent. We're playing against Esper Origins right now, which I think it's playable in this very fringe deck that we have trophied with. But how playable is that? I guess. I just genuinely hope Spider-Man doesn't have any impact on Modern. I have zero plans of buying any product of that set. Well, I haven't bought any product of any set. I in my entire Magic playing history, I've bought one booster box, and this was mostly to support some friends that opened a game store. I've never really understood buying. I guess sometimes for draft, well, I just don't understand buying product in general. I just feel like you just buy the cards you need or trade for them. At least that's always been my philosophy. Ashok's kind of okay in this matchup. I thought I cut the... Wait. I meant to cut this Haywire Mite away. What did I drag away and said... Oh, not the Parasite. Yeah, I think Ashok's a little bit better than Trespasser. Let's play 2. Yeah, it just seemed like Spider-Man and Avatar are both relatively weak sets. I mean, these standard sets that are like all legendary creatures are pretty annoying, I think. I don't know, they're so repetitive to have like 3 sets in a row that are just like mono legendary creatures. I guess Vexing Bauble subbing Metamorph can be okay. It's kind of narrow because they can just still pay a mana for it, right? I don't think I can keep a no interaction hand like that one. Let's keep this one on the draw. Why is the Cabbage Man a legend? I mean, I'm not going to argue with that one. Do I like Spider-Punk? I mean, I think that card could be kind of fringe playable. I don't think it's going to be... Like, it seems like maybe Storm would play it as a wish target. It's like... It doesn't seem like it's doing a lot in our modern format, probably. Oh yeah, this up the Trailblazer plot, but again, they could just like cast it instead of plotting it. So like Vexing Bauble never permanently stops our opponent from doing anything. It just can kind of stop some stuff. Yeah, Saga. See, there's a few like kind of playable cards, but it's looking a lot more like a Final Fantasy than an Edge of Eternity. Although I will say Edge of Eternity is like, I mean, this is my favorite set ever. I'm really happy. I would love to just stay here for like a year at least. Just such a beautiful set. Cards are so fun. Yeah, I mean, I would say Tifa is playable, but like the archetypes Tifa go in, you need like 3 more good cards. So like this is a lot of the cards we explore on this channel is cards like Tifa that are really strong, but the archetypes are weak and they need like several other things to power them up. But if you had like, if you could play 16 Tifas in your deck and you had like another good pump spell, all of a sudden like that deck would be real, So Tifa's playable, and I kind of think the rest of the shell isn't. We did have like one kind of interesting build with it that we did okay with, but we didn't plan this. But my honeymoon is like 2 weeks before Avatar, so I'm gonna get a little bit of time off this year. All right, on the play for round 2. Starting 10 is great in standard. I don't think anyone is playing in modern. Broodskill plays it. I think it's ideal for modern for standard printed cards to boost fringe archetypes over time and reward brewers for remembering that they finally printed enough to make archetype viable. I agree. Yeah, this is literally exactly what I do. Is that we maximize the ideas while we have them. We explore the new cards when they come out. We see how good they can be, and so when more supports or bans happen or unbans happen, we have these ready to go so we can continue to improve them. And we just kind of like we're like a virus spreading outward, shoving our ideas in all corners of the format. We're going to main phase the Bowmaster if they don't have Rebuke up here. This is going to be an Emissary turn? Okay. Was the Tifa landfall the aggro deck with all the other creatures that got buffed? So the one that I thought was the best of them was the one that was a Rydia deck also. Maybe Rydia sees some play. Rydia was like fine too, but it was a Rydia deck where you would get like the tie-in was that you were an Urza Saga deck and you could get Adventuring Boots off Saga to give your Tifa landfall +2/+2, and then like Rydia was like a good card selection, card advantage tool that could get back your Urza Saga, and you could haste Tifa off Urza Saga with Lava Spur Boots too, and you could haste Rydia to like bring the Saga back immediately. So like that was the best build, and I think we had like 2/3/2s with it. So again, not a very good build or anything, but I would say, you know, we tried a few different versions, and that one was the most promising. If you and so if they print anything else that supports this this idea, that's going to be the shell that we start with when we come back to work on it. Yeah, the domain version was okay, but the Rydia Saga build was the most promising. Interesting that Tifa was printed the set before the landfall token set. I mean, they do this sometimes. Well, they'll print a card in a set, and it's kind of more of a card that goes with the future set. It's a little bit weird that they do this, I agree, but it's not too uncommon. Why did I gravitate towards Modern over Legacy? Well, I mean, so I've had a long career as a Magic player before streaming. You know, I've played. There have been times where I've been like exclusively a Standard player, exclusively a Legacy player, exclusively a Limited player, exclusively a Modern player, and I found that I really enjoy brewing. Legacy is not a particularly good format to be if the main way you want to engage with the game is brewing. Plating is so good right now. Legacy is a format that doesn't change a lot. It rewards you a lot more for picking an archetype and sticking with it. Legacy also, you know, I really dislike that a lot of cards that are designed for 1v1 games, for multiplayer games, the cards that are designed for Commander, I dislike that these cards are in a 1v1 format. I just think, like Monarch and Initiative especially, I just really despise these mechanics. I think that they should not. I don't even like them in multiplayer games. I've played Commander with Monarch and Initiative, and literally everyone gets bored of it and no one tracks it. It's like unbelievable how uninterested anyone is in keeping up with it. They just seem to forget every trigger. It's like it's so funny to me. I just hate those two mechanics so much. But I digress. I think we might be dead here. Looks like we are dead here. Got by the cranial plating. But, you know, there was a long time where I bought Splinter Twin, then Splinter Twin got banned, and I spent a long time scouring deals on eBay, buying like cheap Volcanic Islands, cheap Caracas, so I could buy Miracles in Legacy, and I got to play 1 GP with it. I went 12-3, and then Sensei's Divining Top got banned pretty shortly after. All right, Culling Ritual's in, Fade from History's in, Vexing Bauble in on the play. Bowmaster stays in, Trespassers come out. I think the Overlord's good with Culling Ritual, though. Cling to Dust out. Hex Parasite out, 2 Overlords trimmed. Pithing Needle can come in if they're playing plating, but I don't want to be too in on these like 1-drops that stay in play if I'm bringing in all of these 4s. I'll play 1 Break the Ice. I like Monarch, but not Initiative. Flash, Palace, Shadows, Jog. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to like these cards, of course, but I just... Not only do I think that they are uninteractive and not very fun, I also really just like... I pick up a Magic card. I read already a pretty wordy Magic card. Then I have to read a little pamphlet to understand what this card does. I think that at that point in the design process of these cards, someone should have said, let's just not do this. Let's do something else. This, you know, for me that would be a pretty big wall. And in the game I am working on, like, we've had similar things, and my philosophy is like, this is just too much. It's too complicated. Let's do something else. If you hadn't cracked the fetch, you'd have 1 more draw a second relic. That's true. I was worried about my life total, but we could have maybe dig for another push. They also like definitely had Rebuke, so you know, maybe not gonna matter too much either way. Well, let's keep this hand. I guess I'm gonna get Overgrown Tomb on turn 1. Any thoughts on Temporary Lockdown? It seems like mostly there are better options no matter what. Like, it's kind of tough for me to want to play Temporary Lockdown in a when you could play just Wrath the Skies. Okay, so they have an Urza Saga, a Springleaf Drum, and Ornament. I guess I'm gonna take the Springleaf Drum. And you know, if they can get that Kappa Cannoneer down, we have our Fade from History reset button available to us that we do have to find a land for. Very hard to not take the drum though. So they drew a Darksteel Citadel. They play the Ornithopter. They play the Bauble. What's the reason for Fade from History? So stuff like Culling Ritual doesn't kill Cap. It's so I love that you're asking me this. I could just everything's in play right now. Culling Ritual does not kill Kappa Cannoneer. I do think that it's just the only thing that matters here is that we get to 4 mana, so I'm going to Surveil. Yeah, but yeah, it kills this guy. So we have a 2-2 split, and then Culling Ritual is like good against Boros, and so it's good to have some number of Culling Ritual too for that reason. Unbelievable that no one has ever cracked a Mishra's Bauble. It drives me crazy. Like I am always cracking Bauble there, knowing their hand. Like they have Thoughtcast. They could find a blue source and cast Thoughtcast this turn. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this Bowmaster, even though I said the only thing that matters is finding land number 4. Like they have Thoughtcast in their hand. They should be cracking some Baubles. Culling Ritual, understand. Well, I'm just explaining the split, right? I wonder if I ever go Culling Ritual into Fade from History. I guess that doesn't make that much sense. Alright, they don't have blue mana, so we don't need to worry about this getting countered. Why would any Affinity player ever crack Bauble? Oh, they really should have cracked it last turn, though, but... although maybe they were playing around Bowmaster, and then I just didn't have it, and I drew it. That could be it. In terms of Bauble, what's better, a card or an artifact for Affinity? If it's a card, how do opponents not understand that? So, I mean, it does depend. You shouldn't always crack Bauble, but I think you should usually crack Bauble. And this is because so much of your deck is, like, velocity. Like, especially because I usually play weapons manufacturing, too. So maybe if you're not playing manufacturing, it matters less. But in the current builds, so much of the cards you have just care about casting multiple artifacts a turn. That's like the main thing that matters. Or sorry, maybe that's not exactly the best way to put it. But what so many cards just care about casting artifacts and getting a trigger from casting the artifact. So having that velocity matters so much, you know. All right, let's Fade from History. This also kills Urza Saga, and Ritual doesn't. So if I crack the Bauble, I have the ability to draw into like Emissary plus another cheap artifact. And another thing is like these builds are so dense in the cheap artifacts that you're very likely to still have a cheap artifact in play if you crack the Bauble. And when you don't crack the Bauble, you have a lot more games that are just kind of like, I don't know, not doing anything. With this much Riddler, a deck with 4 Bowmaster must rise. Well, yeah, that's why we're playing 4 Bowmaster. It's also very good against Affinity. You know, I do feel like Bowmasters is just like... It's a really well-balanced card now that the Ring isn't legal. When I was consulting on Lord of the Rings, like I felt like Bowmasters was really balanced, but that also the Ring did not draw cards when I saw it. You know, it was 5 mana unplayable. And so for the longest time, it's just like... How popular is the One Ring? That's how many Bowmasters I'm going to play. All right, I attack. Have a bear. Have a bear. All right, so their hand is Kappa Cannoneer, Thoughtcast, 3 mystery cards. Plays a Nile Spellbomb. Were Orcish Bowmasters ever goblins? I'm pretty sure they were always orcs. There was like a good amount of goblin support in the set, yeah. Interesting that the Ring doesn't tempt you when you play it. I think it maybe used to. Like again, I can't say what the Ring used to be because of NDA stuff, but I also can't say because I don't remember because it was so uninteresting. It was like I gave the feedback that this is a card that would not even see any play in Commander, and that's sad because it's such a cool, iconic card, you know? Dismembered. I love that they brought a Nile Spellbomb against my Cosmogoyf deck, although they're probably not sacking it anytime soon. Got a weird affinity build I've been trying to brew. I guess we got a little bit of time. So if you're going to be playing all this big stuff, then I think I recommend considering the new 04 that gets buffed for the highest mana value artifact. For the most part, though, I do think Kozilek's Unsealing is worse than Simulacrum Synthesizer. I think that would be maybe my main point of feedback there. Does MTG have orcs? It does now. I think there are some orcs in like alpha. Yeah, there's Orcish Lumberjack. I think there is an orc in alpha too that's like doesn't like do anything. That's like a vanilla 01 for 4 mana or it's like some of these alpha cards. Yeah, Tarkir has orcs, that's true. Okay, it does have a lot of orcs. Alright, Culling Ritual. Alright, so the hand is Thoughtcast Kappa Cannoneer. They cannot cast the Kappa Cannoneer. If they cast the Thoughtcast, they die. So I'm feeling like we are in pretty good shape. We can attack with the Bowmasters also, since they have to chump block my construct here. Might as well attack with our 01 Cosmogoyf. Two for two with downside, yeah. sounds about right. Yeah, thank you, Cosmogoyf. If they chump block the 4/4 with the construct, they still die. If they drew a Galvanic Blast, they live. They didn't, and we go to game 3. We go to game 3. Opponent says, cool deck, thank you. I think they'll probably cut the Nile Spellbomb for game 3. I've been pretty whelmed by Cosmogoyf. In a lot of situations, it serves the same function as Nethergoyf for twice the mana and more work. And sometimes it's much bigger. It is definitely a higher variance card that is also not weak to graveyard hate. So certainly not the same. Nethergoyf also good, but I think Cosmogoyf was looking certainly better in our league on Friday than it has been today so far. Yeah, I think comparing to Nethergoyf is interesting, right? Where Nethergoyf is it's a little bit more stable, but it's very weak to graveyard hate, and it doesn't have as nearly as high a ceiling as Cosmogoyf does. And having a really high ceiling in this affinity world is really nice, because sometimes just having this giant creature lets you ignore this and Boros better than Goyf does. Or sorry, Nethergoyf does. Am I interested in other TCG like Gundam, One Piece, Lorcana? I played one game of Lorcana with a friend. I didn't really understand it that well. I played a lot of Marvel Snap, and I haven't played that game in a while, but I would love for them to sponsor me again. And recently I've been playing Once Upon a Galaxy, which LSV and Matt Nass worked on. I'm like almost gonna uninstall it because I'm playing it too much. So I think that's a pretty good review for the game. I'm getting pretty close to uninstalling it. Or like reinstalling it on my cardio days so I can just disassociate while I'm on the exercise bike and really power through him. I played one game of Slay the Spire. Amaz keeps trying to get me to play it, and some of my other friends keep trying to get me to play it. Snap has gone a decent amount worse since we played. Okay, it's been a while. I thought the game was really fun. Yeah, Belatro's like I played a lot of Belatro. Let me pull up my stats. Certainly a different card game. Ooh, do you keep this on the draw against Infinity? What do you think? Let's see your stats. I think I've got a mulligan this one, probably. Keep on 6? Keep on 6. Do I do any resistance training or just cardio? So yeah, I did lifted weights today. So I was just lifting weights for like a year, and I was feeling very stagnant, and I also like wasn't losing some like stubborn belly fat. So I've been switching from like a cycle of bulking and cutting, which wasn't working that well, into what I'm learning is called recomposition. So also my weightlifting has stopped being super stagnant. I am now seeing growth in all of my lifts every single time I go. And what I'm doing is every 4 days I lift weights, and I do 5 different workouts to exhaustion. And I try to get in within a 5 to 10 rep range on that exhaustion set. I just go to exhaustion no matter what. And if I can do 10 or more reps, next time I increase the weight. And if I can't do 10 or more, then I stay until I can. But I've been doing this now for this 4-day cycle. I've probably done like 7 or 8 in a row now. Consistent every time. Every single lift, every single time I've increased in strength. So I'm really happy with this this structure. I'm kind of like finally seeing both muscle growth on me, and I'm seeing improvements in my strength too. So this has been really working for me. Before I was trying to do 5 sets of 5 of like 65 or 70% of my max, and that's what I did in my early 20s to like build muscle for the first time in my life. And I found a lot of results. So when I started lifting again in my late 20s, early 30s, I thought it was gonna be the same, and it was good at first, and I just got so stagnant for like 6 months probably. I think I'm gonna go for the Bowmaster here. Yeah, I didn't know that you should just always be lifting to failure. And then apparently like every 4 days like just gives you a good amount of recovery. And so I'm doing every 4 days lifting, and then I do 2 days of cardio, and then I do a 1 recovery day, but the recovery day is immediately after weightlifting. So that's tomorrow for me, then 2 days of cardio, resistance training, continuing. So like I'm just feeling so good that I'm finally progressing in strength after I was just so stuck for so long. And the bulking and the cutting, like I would feel so bloated, and then when I would cutting, my stomach would feel so tight. I was just miserable. Like, so just like doing a lot of cardio and eating balanced and healthy has just been, I feel so much better too. What time do I wake up? I try to wake up like a little bit before 7, and then I try to be out of the gym by 8. Sometimes a little bit after, and I do like my morning stream prep after. Lately, okay, today I woke up late because of Athena and Lucy.
You're usually out of the house by 8 when I wake up. And poor Athena says...
No, I'm out by like 7:40.
Said you try to be out.
I try. I mean, I
usually out before 8.
I've been a little late.
I'm late. Yeah, no, but poor Athena wakes up and she's like, "Where's my father? Where is he? Mother, get up."
I know, Athena gets so stressed when I leave in the mornings. It's crazy.
And she wakes me up. Which I need to wake up, but...
I don't take creatine. It makes me feel weird. Esther's very creatine pilled. You were pushing creatine on me for like the longest time.
It's just because I bought it.
Oh, that's right. That's why, because you bought it, so I better use it. All right, let's get a relic.
You want to see this picture?
Yeah.
She was sleeping like that.
You show the chat.
On her head.
All right, so I think I want to be able to pay for rebuke on the Thoughtseize before I pop the relic. Yeah, I do believe that creatine works. I just, every time I drink it, I feel awful. So to me, I think I'm just going to value that instead, although maybe I could try drinking it again. I think we take the rebuke since we have the double fate in our hand. We may be giving ourselves a bear soon. You're overdoing it most likely. Maybe a little bit, but I am seeing steady growth. So at like the very least, I'm making progress, and it is also important to me that I am losing some weight because I just have some stubborn belly fat that I'm finally seeing progress on that too. I was definitely overdoing it before. Oh, I think you're responding to someone else on the creatine site. All right, we're gonna give ourselves a bear. We get to kill their Kappa. We get to kill the Saga. We get to kill the Opal. Should be able to Thoughtseize the other Kappa Cannoneer. But I do also drink 3 protein shakes a day, so it's not like I'm not getting my protein. 300 sit-ups a day for the belly. Don't have to do them all at one time. So, I mean, I could do that maybe, but what I've been doing also is on one of my cardio days, I'll do 24 suspended leg raises, and I'll do 3 sets of 8 on the side cables, also 3 sets of 8 on the suspended leg raises, and then I also do the ab crunch machine. But I'm only doing that every 4 days, so maybe it would be better to do them every day. But I think I'm a little bit worried about overdoing it too. No, I never played the Elder Scrolls card game. All right, so we're 2-0 in this league. Rambling about protein the whole time. We do have Hex Parasite plus Overlord. I think we'll keep this on the draw. Why 0-1 drop? Yeah, I accidentally changed decks for the second league, so I just 0-1 dropped and resubmitted here. I have played Inscription. Inscription is pretty fun. We used to play it like before D&D. They're gonna choose this after some thought. I'm pretty sure. Probably reading Hex Parasite. All right, we will return your Thoughtseize in kind. Well, they've got 3 insane 2-drops. I guess I'm taking the Frog. If they just Emperor back to Frog, that's kind of slow. If they Emperor the Overlord, it's pretty bad for me though. Yeah, taking Overlord is fine. The thing is, it's like this is just immediately getting them advantage that I can't deal with. But I think I don't love seeing this. But like if they just spend their turn Overlording back, it's certainly not ideal, but it's at the very least slow. Someone mentioned running a Flamekin Harbinger in Cosmogoyf list. I would rather play like a Nissa, which maybe we should have one Nissa in this build. How long have I been vegetarian? Since like January, so not super long. But definitely the Emperor now. I think we surveil this turn. I go vegetarian. My doctor recommended it for me. And it was a good change. Alright, so they're probably going to pick up the Witch Enchanter, right? Unless they drew a land. Yeah, they do pick up the Witch Enchanter. It's also nice not to eat animals. Okay, what's wrong with taking the Backstreets? There's a Urza Saga maybe for our Hex Parasite to scam. I feel like there's a spot for Riddler and Omnath Karuga deck list. So maybe. I think yes, but more so I think that I would rather not play Karuga so I could play Ephemerate and Riddler at that point. So I think like we have been playing Helga, but okay, interesting. I don't think I need to deploy the Relic. I think equipping the Shadowspear might be nice though. Although maybe making a Saga token is no. I need to play the Parasite instead. Maybe the play was just Parasite Construct. I do have a main deck Mite that can deal with the Overlord, right? But now they've top decked a Frog, which allows them to get in with the Ketramose. This is certainly scary. Yeah, we can Shadowspear to make Ketramose lose Indestructible, which they may... I wonder if they would ever block the Ketramose, or block with Ketramose this turn. We also may be able to like double Relic to like ping them to death with Ketramose if we can get enough damage in. So we're gonna need to make maybe a tough decision between Haywire Mite and Relic of Progenitus for that. Cool game. A Bowmaster, if we draw that for turn, could be really good to combo with double Relic. We could make them draw 4 cards. Okay, well, they have a Solitude. But they target my Haywire Mite. I guess they maybe also have Ephemerate. Don't have Ephemerate. They do make the attack. Did they find a land? They drew so many cards that they should have a land. Have I played any decks with 4-color Omnath recently? Surprised? No, I've not really ever seen a poster ring. Well, we got second in the challenge with Karuga Omnath. That was a little while ago. I do have some ideas for like Omnath Quantum Riddler. I tend to not like love these archetypes, but we'll probably circle back to it at some point. Okay, they do have another Solitude, so we're probably going to lose this game. I think if I draw a Bowmaster, I don't think I quite have lethal. They're at 10? It would be pretty close. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see a different angle of attack besides trying to cheese them with their own Ketramose. Let me see if I find a Bowmaster here. We do find a Bowmaster. We have a plan. I guess I should be playing the Bowmaster on my turn so that they can't, like, upkeep draw cards with Frog. So unfortunately, I was 1 mana short of playing another Relic, and then 3 mana short of popping the Relics too. But if this Bowmaster lives, we should have lethal even through the extra 4 life. Maybe not. I think we do. All right, so they're at 12, and then this is 2 damage, and then 2 more damage, and 2 more damage, and 2 more damage, and 2 more damage. Maybe that's only 10. They also have this Overlord online. And then once they get to attack with this Overlord, they're going to be able to Solitude something. Keep. Wait, me popping the Relic is not 2 damage, it's 3 damage, right? Because the Relic gets exiled. Yeah, it's 3 damage. So yeah, this should be lethal. This is 12 damage. Kill the Bowmaster. I'm trying. But we should be putting the draw. I think we need to put these triggers on the stack. Oh, I guess there's gonna be no graveyard for one of these, so it is exactly 10, isn't it? So I'm gonna wait on the other pop. So yeah, they don't have a Solitude in the yard anymore. We can let the Overlord attack and then fills the yard so that the Relic makes them lose 2. Yeah, there's only 1 Solitude left in the deck. They do. I know they have a full grip now, so it's not like we don't lose to anything. The Relic sucks and stuff. Yeah, but it's -1. If it doesn't exile any cards from the graveyard, it's -1 trigger. So we want them to attack with the Overlord, so there's an extra trigger. So like even if they killed the Bowmaster in response to the activation, they would still die here. And so if they have exactly 4th Solitude, they can gain life. Okay, they do have exactly 4th Solitude. I mean, they did get to draw a lot of cards. So we're continuing to battle. They exile the Overlord to gain 5, which does trigger the Bowmaster again. Gonna just go at their face. If they Ephemerate, this triggers the Ketramose again, which triggers the Bowmaster. They might die anyways. they might die anyways. Yeah, they're just dead anyways. Wow. I don't know if there was a way to maneuver around this, but Bowmaster is well positioned on Modern again. They picked up Wisp. I mean, they're just dead in combat, aren't they? Like there's one and there's two more damage triggers on the stack. I guess if they have another ephemerate, they die. They lose a life. I think there's literally nothing they can have. Because there are no more solitudes in the deck. Another solitude would let them gain life before the trigger resolve, but this is the last one. They def messed that up. I mean, it depends on when they drew the solitude, right? If it was like we don't know when they drew it, so we can't say that they messed up or not. I think. Well, I didn't think I was gonna win that game. I'm gonna go ahead and just pat my back a little bit. Felt great. Yeah, maybe attacking with the Overlord was the misstep. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go Bauble in for Drum. I'm gonna keep the Mite in for Impended Overlords. Or maybe I want Drum over Graveyard Trespasser. Why did they need to ephemerate? They seem to be okay. Well, the Bowmaster being in play, certainly they needed to. They were dead. They were dead to that too. Oh, the Vexing Bauble stops Solitude Evoke and it stops Ephemerate Rebound, so I think it's worth bringing in. It doesn't stop anything on our side. Okay, I'm gonna go pee real quick. That was a great match, great game, a lot of fun. Yeah, in general, it's more so for like Neoform Living End. Comes in this matchup too. Comes in against I think all the Riddler decks. That was a good game. I did not think we were gonna win. Well, we got a Goyf. Let's keep. Dress Down does not stop warp, but you could consign the warp trigger. My opponent does go ahead and mulligan to 6. They lead on a Delta. I was hoping they'd have their own relic for my Cosmogoyf. How's the mana for deck with Sagas? It's fine. We just play 24 mana sources, which is... Oh, you know, I'm not going to exile the Trawler. I'm just going to Surveil. It Ketramose here. So if they need a land, they'll probably grab the Trawler. They do grab Ketramose. Hmm. I think I'm going to play the Goyf this turn. I like that if they Flicker Wisp the Overlord, I can make the Goyf big enough to get through the Overlord or block it. And if they play Ketramose, I guess it's actually just bad. I can slowly grow my Goyf, but ooh. Okay, so maybe sorry, I shouldn't have played this Shadowspear this turn. I got too excited. I for some reason was thinking that I was going to be able to let them block and then I milled my swamp. Let them block here, but and then Shadowspear activate. But now I should just left up the Bowmaster instead of playing the Spear this turn. Oops, too excited. I do like drawing this Thoughtseize though. They're down to 11. They're going to go up to 15. I assume they're going to attack. This Goyf has been good, yeah. I think this is the best Goyf deck we've had. I thought it was also good in the Sultai Necro Shell. Alright, definitely going to want to Thoughtseize first. So I think I have to pop this relic and hope that my opponent fatal pushes. Well, I guess I'm just dead to the. Could double block the Ketramose. Yeah, definitely just a nightmare hand. Played a little tighter for sure. You have game 3 on the play. Oh my gosh, they just didn't fly the frog. It's unbelievable. So maybe they Wrath X equals 2? Not that we're out of this year or anything, but shocked. Yeah, it is Ephemerate, Wrath. Wrath X equals 1, so they don't kill their own frog. Well, they didn't fly the frog last turn. But now if they fly the frog, Bowmaster does give me a pretty interesting angle of attack against it. I don't think that, again, that we're going to be able to win this one, but we might as well play it out. We also have this Overlord coming off and pinned. Yeah, that's a little too late. Alright, game 3, on the play. Yeah, dead on board. Very tough hand. Don't think I'm bringing in the needle. Let's just. Right, keeping this. I don't think I'm supposed to lead on the turn 1 Thoughtseize. Do you think we need lands? We could also get that back with Overlord, maybe. I'd really like to go 2-drop into Thoughtseize 2-drop if I can. If I don't draw a land, I might go Thoughtseize Surveil. Did not draw the land. I think it's really good to impending Overlord though on turn 2 in these matchups, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah, we could be playing some Torpor Orbs. They do keep a card on top. We only milled 1 land. They don't play a 2-drop, although maybe they have a Felia. We don't draw a land. Alright, I think we should be going Thoughtseize, Relic this turn. We need to not get Felia overlorded. They have 2 Overlords. Well, good game. I don't know. I guess I could maybe take Prismatic Ending and then draw a land for Ketramose. They find a Riddler for next turn. The graveyard a land. That's, I guess they're gonna mill the land with the Overlord. They find a Solitude. I'm gonna pack it in. Tough. Probably not a very good matchup. Yeah, we haven't tried the Serum Powder stuff in any of the builds. I think if anything, it would be in like you would play Abzan Necro, and then you would play Ketramose over Psychic Frog in that build. It's like there are plenty of things you could use with Felia that give you 2 cards when you Felia it, and also a big creature. So I don't know why you just want like a dopey artifact instead. There may be something I'm missing. Okay, we're on the draw against a Devourer of Destiny here. Devourer of Destiny, basic island expedition map. Well, I'm happy to have the Prismatic Ending. Yeah, I'm open to trying the Serum Powder Glyph stuff. Never felt like a huge priority though. So a second map and an Urza is mine. Only playing 2 push, both very dead here. Cracks the map. Grabs Urza's Tower. Usually I feel like you grab Power Plant first, but I'm not trying to be too nitpicky here, I guess. I do not want to tap this. Oh, they're just going to get the other relic, I guess. Don't have a main deck Pithing Needle. If they plus the card, I can only deal it 5 damage, so they might do that. They do grab the Expedition map that I Pithing Needled. Good play. We grab Hex Parasite, kind of minor. Probably gonna lose game 1. Drawing double push is just so bad. Obviously, we're only playing 2. Oh, they just ripped the power plant. Okay. So Devour, we know they have that. They also have a bunch of other cards. This is just a Portent of Calamity, a card that I have been kind of unimpressed with lately. I feel like it just never hits. They can cast a Devourer here and make a 6/6, which is like kind of annoyingly good because it's going to be 1 bigger than my constructs, but it's not really doing that much here. I hate Tron so damn much. Well, what's nice about hating Tron is that you can really, really be good against Tron with mana hate, much better than you can against Eldrazi. Like, the Break the Ice in our sideboard are so much more effective against these decks than regular Eldrazi. Okay, so I'm going to tap the Relic. We're going to untap and draw. So we don't want to pop a Relic because we need to be able to at least trade a construct for a Devourer. They also put in Allah's Dust and a Karn. I missed that they hit a Karn off of this. And a Talisman and another Portent in their hand. They discard an Ugin. Alright, let's go to game 2. Break the Ice in. Needle in. Vexing Bauble does stop Portent. Pushes out. Shadowspear out. 1, 2, 3. I don't think Ashok is good against them. Ending does hit their mana rocks and their maps. It's just probably good. Well, we should have tapped the other relic. I was kind of mentally giving up, I guess. Alright, let's play for game 2. Let's mulligan. Pretty borderline hand. Just put back second copy of Prismatic Ending, I guess, and we can lead on the Vexing Bauble. Old Dugan Smoke Spores, doesn't it? Well, it sure is an 8 mana spell, so he might just be dead before it comes down. But if it comes down, yeah, it's pretty good against them. Well, let's play the Bowmaster. Or try to, as it does seem like they have a removal spell of some kind. They imprint an Ugin to the lab. Very flavorful. So what could they have been holding up that maybe they were just F6'd? I do care more about this Relic resolving than the Goyf, but I think we'll just be mana efficient. I mean, I think that's also a reason to play the Cosmogoyf this turn. Why did Ugin get lost? Well, he's just, working in there, I think. They play a tower, then they play a map. So we can play Relic off the Overgrown Tomb. If they counter it, we might be able to Prismatic Ending the map. Not... Okay, that... I guess I maybe should have been able to sniff out that that's what they were holding up there. And they just chose not to consign my Vexing Bauble, which is interesting. Have we been Blue-troned? Feels like we have. Kind of sad that they had a map and then we just were not able to Prismatic Ending it. Feels like they maneuvered around the ending perfectly. Maybe just drew it at the right time. Oh, right, I was at the play. That makes sense. Making spawns. All right, let's keep it going. Play for the 3-2. I think I'm mulliganing this, but having a relic is really important. Two on top, 0 on the bottom. Could be playing anything. Blue-white gnome. Certainly should do this on our main. Well, I mean, with Surveillance, if we surveil main phase, our opponent just mills over whatever if we want to keep a card on top. Obviously, Archive Trap is annoying, but I think we have a like we just got to surveil, so I think this was the right time, right? So they surgical my Bowmasters cannot. I guess this is going to grow my Cosmogoyf to be a 4/5 though. Kind of fun. Why do you use 2 different Moto accounts? So I have my Aspiring Spec account that I've had since I was like 18. And then Daybreak Games, which is the company that runs Magic Online, gives accounts to content creators that they can play in leagues. I use that account mostly when a new set comes out, and then also for off-stream testing. But I get to use that account to play with the new cards faster, which is very helpful. Because it used to be that without that account, that I would be like begging people for the cards and spending hundreds of dollars so I could play with them immediately and then lose all that money in value. It was just kind of a pain. Okay, Prismatic Ending. 2 cards left in our opponent's hands. Not quite an active Ketramose. So I think I should play the Graveyard Trespasser this turn. So that way, my attacking with this next turn turns on this Ketramose. They Toshes me, so I have 2 Cosmogoyfs in exile, it looks like. So if I had one in my graveyard, or if it got milled with a crab just now, maybe I would Balemurk it back. Do I want to draw a card? I think yes. Notably, there are no creatures in graveyards. Better to target myself because of their 1 mana draw 3, though. I think we wanted to draw a card here for the ability to top deck a 1 mana removal spell for Crab or Thoughtseize. Though I don't think there's that many. Yeah, only 1 Thoughtseize left. Overlord's pretty bad in this matchup. I guess it's nice to have in your deck against Toshes, though. The opponent's got 3 cards in their hand. Concedes. They didn't want to try to just top deck Atasha's. I wonder what 3 cards could have been in our opponent's hand that they would just concede there. Certainly not going to complain about a giver upper. Usually like to board up a little bit, but I don't have too much that's good. Ashrocks are okay. They're okay. Although Mill like almost always boards up on cards, which I never understand. This is a hot take. Saga has been feeling weak or slow when it isn't in a dedicated artifact deck like Affinity or uses a tutor card to get Samuel. Well, we are using it to get, like, our deck is really, really built around Relic, so we need to have Saga for Relic. It's obviously not as powerful, but I agree. Saga's, you know, I think Saga's like not. I like that Urza Saga is such a polarized card. It can you get blown out so often when you play it. I think it's just kind of a card I like in general, I guess. I agree that it is not anything too crazy. I guess we do this turn 1 because of Archive Trap. They might still have a crab. Ashiok stop fetches and field for crab. I mean, so this is the thing, is that I have Ashioks in the sideboard, and people go, it stops fetch lands. But like, if Ashiok was good because it stopped fetch lands, you know, it would be not just like a sideboard card for Neoform and Titan. Like, it's 3 mana. They have some answers to it. That isn't like the only thing that they have going on. Like, I don't think it's that relevant that it stops their fetches and fields. But I mean, it does do something. So there's that. Opponent yet again growing my Goyfs for me. Interesting to not draw step it this time. It is turn 2. I only have 29 cards in my deck. They keep a card on top also. If they Tasha's me, I might one-shot them with this Goyf. Tasha's. That would be Tasha's into the one shot would be so sick. They play a field. They activate the field. They mill me down to 21. Then they play a second crab. Alright. Should have at least the swamp. I just saw one, yeah. So next turn I can Cling to Dust the Grow the Goyfs by 5. So they might miss. Mills me down to 16, has 2 cards in hand. Looks like I still have a couple Overlords in the deck, so... Wait, they milled themselves? Mills themselves, flashes back, preordained with Snapcaster. Okay. Do they notice the Cling to Dust? Doesn't seem like it, at least. You want to exile your own I guess they're blue-white. It doesn't really matter. But there's the black card, Crypt Incursion. All right. Well, that was a fast match against Mill. 2-0'd the Mill guy. I mean, so we have a 4-1 and 0-2 and a 3-2 with this archetype now. What is that? 7-4. It's a pretty solid record overall. I know it's nothing too flashy, but these decks are never anything too flashy. I do think this is a good direction to go if you're interested in playing Cosmogoyf. It's like Abzan mid-range, raw Thoughtseize deck too, so it's nice to be able to do pretty well with decks like this. I do have a backup deck I want to switch to though now. So I'm calling this Terminal Breach. This is a card that